Hello, everybody. I don't know why I'm laughing. I got to tell you two little sad stories in order to build up to the miracle at the end. I know a lot of people don't watch this for more than 2 minutes, so they missed the point, won't they? Never mind. The two sad little stories are quite knocked me for six, actually. Um, because I'm a nice person, as you probably gather. I'm always surprised at how nasty people can be, which I shouldn't be really, because that's how the world is, isn't it? And I think the nicer you are, the more you do get upset. It's part of the job, isn't it? But I was surprised by these two, because one was a chap I've known for 15 years, and he came to look at my computer, and he was sitting at the computer, and I won't go into details, but suddenly he threw a childish wobbly. I was shocked, absolutely shocked. It was full moon, and I was sitting right next to him. I didn't know what to do. I was quite shocked, actually. So that was the first one. And then this week, only recently, I had somebody local who does odd jobs and stuff, and he came to fix a lavatory seat for me. And he's been several times to cut my grass and so forth. And again, I was very shocked. He suddenly burst into this tirade. It was rage, absolute rage, that I wasn't paying him enough to cut the grass. I mean, this is in my home. This is not like out somewhere. This is in a pub or whatever. This is in my home. And I'd welcomed these people thinking I could trust them. Well, they didn't hurt me physically, but it may as well have done. The emotional shock, which is taking me a few days to get over. And somebody actually on the internet who does lovely Reiki healings, and it's their stuff. Well, I've had, I know that. I mean, this is the theory. It's how everybody says it's their stuff. It may well be their stuff, but it shocked me. And it leaves me thinking, what's the purpose? I always have to ask, what is the purpose of this? I mean, have I done something? I think basically with the first one, he was just having a wobbly. The second one, I think I was too nice. I was kind, I was interested. I gave him some hints about when he thought he had the co-virus. This is me. I think I've learned the lesson to not be too helpful. I've come to the conclusion that people don't really want help. You can't force help on. It's like trying to force an old lady across the road. It doesn't go, isn't it? Maybe I'm too helpful, too open, too kind, too loving. And people think, oh gosh, we can punish her for all our sins. So I've been questioning what this really means, and I still don't know, because kind of it is my stuff. It's obviously because people do reflect us, don't they? They reflect what needs to be healed, and maybe it isn't my stuff in this lifetime, perhaps the past one. You don't know. We don't know these things. I mean, these two people do seem familiar. The first one that I don't know if I've come to terms with that one, but the second one I've only met recently, but I was absolutely amazed at the rage he threw at me. So I'm recovering a bit. You can imagine what's happened to my physical body. It's in pain all day. So this afternoon I couldn't do much today. I thought, well, I will watch a film on Netflix. Good old Netflix. They have subtitles. So what's this film? I forget what it was called now, but I don't usually like love stories. I don't like soppy things. But this was a very moving story. I won't go into it, obviously, but the ending was quite moving and quite tearful and very clever, I thought. And I suddenly burst into tears. I mean, I do cry easily at things, obviously, but well, obviously because I'm that sort of person. But this was irrational, and I felt a pain go through my heart. I mean, it was such a deep, deep feeling of grief that I felt. So I thought, well, this is not to do with the film. This is something else going on. And again, it is very hard to fathom these things out, isn't it? All your past lifetimes and things that happen to us. I mean, you could spend all day at it, really. And sometimes I get answers, sometimes I don't. But I think this could have been a past life love, because it was something I hadn't probably faced or released or whatever. And it was extremely emotional. So, so I thought, well, I'm I've got no one to talk to about these things, that's what I'm telling you. I hope you don't mind. Well, it's good. I think we can relate to these things. I think it might help somebody, to deal with whatever's going on. I think there's a lot of grief around at the moment. We've got a new moon coming up next week. But grief, I think, is the hardest thing to cope with, because you don't know what you're upset about, especially if it's a previous lifetime. Something's happened, you don't know. And of course, grief isn't just about people, is it? It's animals. And I've had 10 homes, lost my bank account, lost money, lost thousands of pounds through that 9/11 thing, lost a daughter, lost, you go on and go on. And it's not just about, somebody dying on you, really. It's the grief can mean so many things. So I guess that was the heart chakra. I think my spiritual master Maharaji does say, you remove the beneath the pain of sorrow is the pain of joy, not the pain of joy. Remove the sorrow and beneath is joy. So I'm waiting for the joy to arrive. And it did in a very slight little way, because I went for this walk. It's a dear little walk. It's just past outside my bungalow, through some trees and some playing fields, down to a little stream at the bottom. And I can't always go that far, but I did need to go today to get into nature, because I find that's really healing. And so on the way down, there was some bungalows on the bottom with the gardens and stuff, and I think it's a miracle, because these things do happen, and it shocks you. Think, gosh, that's amazing. And I was just walking down this little pathway to the stream, and I saw this huge. It was a big, full-blown red rose. It was nestling in some bushes or some bushes I think, well it would be rose bushes, in the garden of the bungalow. It was quite hidden really. I mean, I think it sort of came at me. Look at me, it said, and it was magnificent. I mean, there was nothing else about. It was this time of year, you don't get many flowers about anyway. It was dark foliage and a dark spot in the garden. It was just this big red rose just there on its own. I mean, what can you say? I mean, I just felt that was put there for me. It just reminded me that the heart chakra, the rose, that it was a healing and some sort of awakening, some sort of healing. I always look at things from a best perspective I can. Or I don't have to, because they usually come at me. I see things and I think, gosh, that's amazing, And I think we need to do that more, to observe things that are always there for us for healing. I was going to check the time. I haven't got my contacts in today. I've been crying so much, I don't think they would fit. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So now, I'm back to mundane matters, having a lavatory seat. This guy was so horrible to me. I said, well, forget it, I'll try and fit it myself. I did actually many years ago fit a lavatory seat, but then I could get on my knees then. I mean, they are difficult things. If anyone's tried, they are difficult. 2 screws, and you have to get underneath and screw in the opposite direction to what you think. And even then they start wobbling. It's a saga. I don't know whether in the US you have these sort of things, but here it seems everyone's got problems with lavatory seats. So to make you laugh after that little sad story, I tried. I thought, well, that's okay. The guy in his rage, he managed to get it off and stormed out. So I was left with a lavatory with no seat on it. I mean, they're porcelain, they're cold, they're low. I can't even get down to it. I thought, well, I could go for a pee outside. I've done that before. The gardens are quite secluded, but you couldn't do the other. Well, you might, but So I'm stuck with this lavatory with no seat on it, and I tried everything. I put towels all around it, and they got wet, of course. And the minute you sit down, you start slipping, and the seat just So I thought I'll put the seat back on without screwing it in. Just leave it, and you sit down, and it. It's very distracting, so I still haven't come to a solution. So I'm going to have to go, oh yes, I call him the abuser, the emotionally distraught man. He did say he'd get another seat for me. I said, well, I'm not going to pay you, I'll put it myself. Anyway, he said the local shop hadn't got them, so I'm going to go to another shop at Woodhall Spa, my nearest place, where I like a little Sainsbury's and a coffee out. I should go there tomorrow. They should be open, and buy one. And hopefully, I'm just praying for a miracle, because I don't know anybody that can fit a lavatory seat. I mean, they are tricky. I could do it, but you see, I can't kneel down, and I can't get up once I'm there. Little old ladies on their own should have somebody in their life to help them. I keep saying this to God. Look, I said, a woman on her own, she's either got to have someone to help her, or she's got to have money to pay someone. That's how it is. I can't do it, so I have to have somebody in my life. Oh, I'll come around to do that for you, love. You know, that's what I'd like. Not necessarily a lover, a neighbour or a brother or somebody's friend, whatever. A helpful man doesn't want paying £25 like this chap wanted paying £25 for a patch of grass about this big. Well, I can't do it. I haven't got the money and I haven't got the energy. So there's got to be a miracle somewhere. The rose is beautiful, but it's not going to perform a miracle, is it? It's practical help I need, you know. So, anyway, this is not the video I was going to do. I had another one planned. It was going to take place tomorrow or some point, and I thought, well, I tend to wait to see something's going to happen, so to inspire me, because these cards sort of, you know, bring you stuff out. Well, it is, and it isn't, but suitable stuff for the public. I've had some lovely subscribers. I went through a very strange phase of everyone pulling away from me. I thought, oh dear, it was picked up again now. It must have been a funny time we were going through. So anyway, I've got these two. I haven't mentioned the third one. Everything comes in trees. These two very weird males that I cannot understand whether obviously I don't. It's their stuff, as somebody said, but it's obviously reflecting something in me, and I've got to work out what it is. I think the fact is I'm just too nice. Men don't like women being nice to them. Do you know that? This is interesting. When I had this man friend who lived next door to me, he was a bit, well, kind of, and he was quite an ill man, dementia. That's another story I won't go into today. And I was always trying to look after him, wrapping him up and taking him out and da 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 da. And he didn't like it. He didn't want it. Men feel inadequate if a woman's looking after them. They like to think they're independent and strong and can do everything on their own. And that even if a woman wants to help him, she has to give him the idea that he is quite capable of doing it on his own. Which is quite, I do find that difficult to understand. I think the older generation are the worst. Oh, I can do it, push it. And I once said to him, you know, I've got to tell you this, it's not important, but it is and it isn't. I said to him, I do love you, you know. And, you know, he looked me in the eye and he said, I wished you didn't. Now, isn't that sad? That is sad. So we're going to have a bit of a rewind now. So I think that grieving today was a lot to do with that relationship, but also previous lifetimes where I probably have been loved. You've all been loved at some point. It must be, mustn't we? Not in this lifetime I haven't, but in a previous lifetime. And maybe that's the sadness I was releasing. So better out than in, as I say. So I don't know why I think laughing, I'm probably laughing to cover up my sadness. I don't know. I think clowns do laugh a lot, don't they? And then they go home and cry. Tony Hancock was like that, apparently. He was very depressed, but he was a good comedian. On that note, I'll love you and leave you. Oh, thank goodness I've got my television. And it's Sunday tomorrow, so I'm going to take a trip out, get into some trees. I might have a coffee out and get this lavatory seat. I don't know how I'm going to fit it. I just pray for a miracle. The man in the shop might be nice if I say to him, do you know anybody who can fit it for me? Yes, it's £25. The thing only costs 20. So the world's gone mad. It's all about money, isn't it? Everybody, you know, the money is the top thing, and I get heartbroken about it because I haven't got it. I've got enough to survive on, but anyway, that's another story. So I'm going to love you and leave you now. Put my glasses on to say goodbye because I can't see the time. Oh gosh, 13 minutes, goodness me. Anyway, take care for now then, dear ones. God bless.